Well, good morning. And I am Lee, at least the Lee part of Sher-Lee The Explorer. And it's been, I don't know, 10 days or so since we put our very first full length video up onto YouTube channel, Sher-Lee The Explorer. And I thought I would throw something up there live, not necessarily a live action, but, trying to build the channel slowly. Uh, we're still building our house in the Philippines, even though it's a lot closer to finish than what that video shows. But being new YouTubers, there's growing pains, and you don't start out running with anything. And we are in the crawl phase, and so we're learning and developing and correcting errors, making them almost daily in our process to become another expat family building a house in the Philippines. Our story started back in 2007 when we met online and has grown to include a grandson, a house in the U.S., and the almost completed house in outside of Batanga City, because that is where Sherly was born, and her family still lives there. And in fact, her aunts and uncles' property and houses surround ours. And so we hope that you enjoy our development as it goes. When we started this, did I believe that I would be married to this fabulous woman? No. I was divorced, working for the state of Michigan, and kind of rudderlessly floating around and not really having any direction. And had, some experiences with the women from the Philippines, but not ever having been there. And just found myself, online, and we said hello to each other, and as they say, the rest is history, and going to be history as we continue to live together and enjoy our later years. I'm closer to the later years than she is by far. I've retired from the state of Michigan. I've retired from the military, and I am chomping at the bit to live in the Philippines. Why? There are many reasons. The biggest for me is the fact that you can't hope to retire and live comfortably in the United States anymore. It's been that way for a while. And I have known a few and more people that are seeking to spend their golden years away from the U.S. because it's not what it was. Your hopes of getting hired at the factory and putting in 35 years and having a pension and a comfortable living, traveling, spending time at your cabin or in your RV or taking cruises or flights and travel is long gone. It's long gone, and it has been for a while, and it's very disheartening. But it is the way it is. Okay, there are no pensions. There is no health care for people that are 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s, and people are living longer. And so this country is in for a rude awakening very soon, when a bulk of its society is no longer adding to the coffers for the people that are retired and need additional health care and need additional assistance living. Our mother, a mother of 5, outlived her pensions in her working years by over 30. And so, it's not going to be good in the future. And so, Philippines. Okay. The people are wonderful. I feel so close to them when I get there. Family is family. Okay? There's respect for the parents, there's respect for the elders, without question. Now, if you're old, the world didn't begin until these younger individuals, younger adults, became aware of the world around them. And so anybody that came before them is meaningless to them, for the most part. You know, cost, cost is, I can build a house there that's bigger than the house that I live in the U.S., and it's not going to cost me nearly what, I have paid for here. And I look forward to being on top of the mountain, sitting on the front porch, drinking my coffee, enjoying the sights, the sounds, the breezes, the sunshine, the raindrops, everything, and the people around me saying, "Hi, Mr. Fisher." Okay. I like the U.S. We will continue to live in the better weather in Michigan, such as, May, June, July, August, early September. But when the leaves change, it'll be time to pack the bags and go. All right? Without question. And I don't know if we'll ever not come back to Michigan. I have family. We have friends. We have, children and grandchildren. And so we will, but we may not, stay in Michigan. We may decide to sell our holdings here and move out west where it's warmer and a little less expensive depending on where you go, and quicker and cheaper to fly back to what will be my home and her home, and we'll enjoy it. I know what we have been watching quite a bit of the expat videos building homes there, and we will continue to put ours on YouTube so people can see and hopefully ask questions. Sherly's father, who came to the U.S. for a year and worked in a small factory and built up a quite healthy nest egg in comparison to what he had back home. But he is definitely a home person. He's a homebody. He missed his, wife, his children, his grandchildren, and the day-to-day relaxation that he feels, but he came here and made some money, built up his holdings back home, and went back. And unfortunately for us and for him and for one of Sherly's sisters, we didn't study immigration rules and laws well enough that he could have come back, because he has since asked to come back. But our situation has changed. We no longer live in the home that he stayed with us in. We found a smaller one closer to the schools that my son uses. But we were trying to immigrate Sherly's youngest sister. But Tatai went back home, decided he didn't want to come back, lost his green card, and lost her ability to come to the U.S. Now, she has a relationship there. She's happy, but, most of us that have dealt with Filipino families know that children take care of their parents, okay, as they get older. And it's harder to do employed there than it would be here, Sherly immigrated when we got married. She came over on the CR1 visa, which made her a conditional resident getting off the plane. And we didn't have to go through the 90 days or the whatever. And she didn't have to wait for her Social Security card and what. And she got herself acclimated here and started to go to college. And unfortunately, part of the reasons, that the U.S. is going to have problems in the future is the school decided that Sherly needed English as a second language classes, even though she spoke perfectly good English, understood perfectly good English and grammar, and sent her to the first 2 years of community college that became useless. and frustrating for her because she wanted to progress. She wanted to go into nursing, but they held her and said, "Well, your test scores aren't good enough." Well, who's to say? If she understood the material, then why do we need to spend the money on English as a second language? There should be a system for people that have had English, in their native country and have developed the speaking and understanding skills, that they don't need these English as a second language at college costs. Excuse me. You know, so she became frustrated. Heck, we're still paying, for those, classes 10, 11 years later. You know, and that, to me, that was, they didn't need to. Our education system at the college level is, faulty at best. You know, just like many other things, it's too costly. Okay, it shouldn't cost that amount of money for something that we want to strengthen our workforce with, but it is. Same with healthcare. You know, food, gas, housing, all well over what needs to be. The value's not there. Okay? We are becoming a society of those that have it and those that wish they could get it. But in the Philippines, you don't have that as much. Yes, it's still, a poor and developing country, but they are developing. Okay? And there's going to be, infrastructure that hires people without the education to build it. And that's a good thing. You're going to start seeing more, families becoming middle class. They're going to have a middle class where we don't. The U.S. is no longer have a middle class. Here we're going through a time of striking by an industry that pays its workers at, well living expenses, the UAW. But yet there are vast majority of auto workers that don't see that because they work in small factories that don't have that same pay scale. And it doesn't matter. The union says this is what we need. And I'm not a union person. I belonged to a union for a short while, but the unions no longer, serve the purpose of the workers. Okay? It doesn't. And if anybody that says it does is, blind. Okay? You have a president of the UAW that's a multimillionaire and, hasn't seen the inside of a factory except to walk around on a tour. Okay? He hasn't worked. He hasn't turned a wrench. He hasn't ran a robot. Okay? He hasn't. But yet he is, he's making his money off the work of workers. I worked for the state of Michigan for 30 years in the school systems, in the prison systems, and the mental health systems. And they are underpaid. Those people are truly underpaid. Teachers by far are underpaid. Corrections officers and people that work in mental health systems are grossly underappreciated, putting their lives in harm's way to do jobs that many people couldn't even fathom doing, and know what they have to deal with. Okay, it's not comfortable to walk into your employer every day and wonder, are you going to walk out? Okay, with the same body parts that you had. Are you going to walk out? And administrations don't understand, what it's like, because they're on the sidelines watching and kibitzing, and quick to blame, the staff. A friend of mine was hurt recently at the last place that I worked, and it shouldn't have happened. You're dealing with, young adults and grown adults who are mentally ill and really can't control themselves. And we entrust doctors to correctly identify the means to help those patients control themselves. And some of the doctors don't take the not, I won't say advice, but information from the staff that work with them 8 hours a day, 16 hours a day, morning, noon, and night, see all aspects of that person's life and their interactions with every ounce of energy they have in the environments that they put them in. And that's what they're there for. They're there to help, identify, situations and happenings that the doctors need to take into consideration, when they address the patient's needs, medically, mentally, physically, and many of the doctors don't. They went to school. They did the studying. But one of the best schools in the world is called life. And when you have, staff that spend a third of their life, daily life, with these patients, they become the experts. They know what triggers, some of the behaviors because they see it every day. Okay, and so. I live in the state of Michigan, and it's a wonderful place. I love it. I love the people. I love the family I have around me. I'm really enjoying the football season. With Michigan number 2, and the Lions being restored to their 1950s ability to determine their own destiny. Okay, hopefully, there are flaws. And not hopefully there are flaws, but hopefully, we get to see progress. It's about time. We have a great general manager. We have a very good coach that understands the players. They've selected, hired, and empowered the players and coaches, to be successful. And they're, I've watched them dismantle the Las Vegas Raiders last night. Okay. With blue, okay, everybody wishes they were you. All right. Are you clean? Are you squeaky clean? Do you go to church? Jim Harbaugh? No. Yes. Okay. But hey, he's not the only NCAA coach that's got dirty fingers, okay? But to say that their last 3-year run is due to them stealing signals? Who the hell are they stealing signals from? Rutgers? MSU? Iowa? Come on. It wasn't very successful against Georgia 2 years ago. And it certainly wasn't successful against TCU last year. So who are they stealing signals from? And do they need to with the competition that they face? Not so far this year. We'll find out tonight when the first bowl championship ratings come out. Another group's opinion, okay? It's like, it's just enjoyable to watch. I love to watch football. It's a joy. I love spending time with my family. My wife, Sherly, been married since 2008. We have a 16-year-old son who thinks he's 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay. I have a daughter, Caitlin, who, born in 1994, lives in Ann Arbor. We have a daughter, Chanel, who's wildly successful at what she does. She's a mother of one, living on her own, and succeeding. She is succeeding. She is the new professional. Okay? She can teach me many things about, delving into day trading. She came over here when she was 18. You know, didn't college wasn't for her. The way that, you know, just like her mother, but she had the she had the stones to say, this isn't me, and I'm not going to waste my money doing something that you're telling me as an institution who's trying to take my money what I have to have. You know, she got her cosmetology certificate. She's a licensed cosmetologist, and she's killing it. You know, so what the heck? Drive. You know, drive. She's young and she's got energy, and just because she has she's a single mother with a young son, 5 years old. You know, she's not stopping to grab the brass ring and rip it from the bull's nose because that's what she wants. She's an excellent mother. Okay, working with her son. You know, he is in preschool, kindergarten / whatever they want to call it, and she works with him in the evening on his, you know, language skills, his math skills, you know, and so that he will be successful. You know, our son is straight A student, has been since he started school. You know, he hopes to go to U of M, possibly for engineering. You know, but we'll see. We'll see. We, the two of us, are looking forward to the day that, you know, he's in college, even if he lives here, and responsible for himself, so that we can start our trans-Pacific lifestyle, which, you know, summers Michigan, winters in the Philippines. You know, she asked me, what are you going to do when we get over there? I'm going to sit on my behind and feed chickens and watch the sun come up over the mountains. And then set over the ocean. That's what I'm going to do. Okay? I'm going to take long walks up and down the road, talking to people, meeting people. You know, we don't have a vehicle. We may not get a vehicle. Okay? And so, and then, you know, when I get bored doing that, which is going to take a long time, you know, we'll travel around Southeast Asia. You know, would love to see Australia, Vietnam, Thailand, you know, Malaysia, Singapore, places of that nature. You know, where it's warm. I don't have to worry about snow. I hate snow. I hate cold. Okay. You know, the best year I spent, as far as weather was concerned, was in Iraq. Where it's 130 at noon and 100 at midnight. You know, and if I could have wore flip-flops in my military uniform, I may have extended and stayed right there. But, you know, you're required to wear the full uniform. You know, I don't like socks and shoes. I'd rather be in flip-flops. Okay? I don't like sweatshirts, t-shirts, shorts. You know, that's what I want. Okay? I want people to come over to my house, sit around my dining room bar, having meals, listening to music, introducing them to football, you know, because they don't, you know, it was hilarious. My father-in-law came, his first Sunday in the U.S. when he came in 2016 was Super Bowl Sunday. And so my wife, who didn't understand the game as well back then, was explaining to him in Tagalog what the game was about. Okay. And so it was quite humorous. You know, after, you know, we picked him up I picked the two of them up at the airport, and it snowed while we drove home. You know, so that was the first opportunity for him to see snow. And it snowed all night. And so when we woke up in the morning, Car was covered. The driveway was full of snow. You know, it's a rude awakening. Going from 75, 80 degrees to that mess. No thanks. No more. I want to live in countries that don't have a word for snow. Okay. And so I'm gonna try it. I'm still learning the processes of putting these videos together. Our house is, like I said, almost complete. And so the pictures that you see me put together in a video are from last year when we started this process. We started in April of 2022. The property was given to Sherly by her aunt, her father's oldest sister, who passed away a couple years ago. But she was instrumental in raising Sherly. And so, even though the family didn't fully understand why she gave it to Sherly, she did. And so, it's not a big property, but it's right in the middle of, family. And so that's very nice. And so we started. We broke ground in April of 2022 and have progressed to right now we have almost all the tile work done. And next step will be electronic fixtures, plumbing fixtures, hot water for the showers and the sinks. And then hopefully, maybe in the fall of next year, about a year from now, we will head over and pick out furniture and picked out door handles and whatever, the small things, so that when we go back, appliances definitely. So that'll be my son's senior year at high school. So we'll get him through senior year of high school, and hopefully, my hope, true hope, is that he, finds it in himself to attempt to do a short military service to help him pay for school. And that be, like myself, the National Guard, because that way he can be at home, go to school, earn money to go to school, work full time to help pay for school along with us, and stay here at home where it's much cheaper. And he can watch out for the house. Okay, we live about an hour from Ann Arbor. We live about 20 minutes to East Lansing in MSU. But like most, I would say, but like the majority of teenagers at this point in time, it's all about what's this in my hand, and I'm staring at it, and we've asked and we've prodded and we've tried to get him invested in filing for grants and scholarships and stuff like that. There are articles of kids that do apply themselves at like a full-time job applying for these things and receiving quite a bit, because college isn't cheap. College is not for everybody. Four-year college is not for everybody. Not everybody's suited for it. We do need service people, okay? You want to make a lot of money? Go be a plumber. Go be heating and air conditioning. Go be an electrician. Go get your card in those skills, and you will be a millionaire, okay? It's hard work. It's dirty work. It's not glamorous, but it's needed every day. And you have to continue building your skills because it's continually evolving, okay? Sure, plumbing is plumbing, but how we heat the water, how we pump the water, how it travels through a house is always going to change. Same with electricity, same with heating and air conditioning. if you are a mechanic for a vehicle, you're in school without question, because it's changing. It's one thing to, you know, change out a carburetor, but when you've got an electronic admissions, you have to have schooling. You have to become an electrician almost. Okay? So that's you'll be in school forever if you're a mechanic. And that's okay. You know, we need mechanics. You know, it's expensive. You're going to have automobile repair insurance just to afford to keep your car rolling down the road. Bet on it. I bet it happens. Okay? You do now. Oh, you're outside your warranty. Okay, great. Even if you're inside your warranty, there's going to be a deductible, especially if it's electronic or computerized. Okay, you have to pay out of your pocket this amount before that kicks in. It's just like healthcare. Okay. You know, healthcare in the Philippines, pay as you go. School, pay as you go. You know, you got the money, you can go. Build a house, pay as you go. There's very few mortgages, if any. Okay, so one of the benefits of being there. You know, I mean, regulations are great, but we overregulate here. They underregulate there, we overregulate here. Okay, but you got to balance it. It's got to be balanced. Okay, yeah. Driving jeepneys in the U.S. would never happen because of, you know, all the regulations that we put on vehicles. But by the same token, you can travel through Manila for a couple of dollars at most by jumping jeepney to jeepney. Okay. Here, well, sorry for the short, not interlude, but that was my wife who called. She was at lunch at work. And so, you know, I will drop everything to talk to her without question. Because she kind of demands it like most Filipinos. Pay attention to me, please. And I was talking to my daughter online about her new job, working at a small factory in Ann Arbor, making good money. You know, and then my other daughter, who's bringing our grandson over this evening, because of course it's Halloween. So we will be hopefully, if I can hobble along with the boot on my foot from a broken ankle in August, we'll be videotaping the joys of a 5-year-old on Halloween, because it is so fun to be a grandparent. And watching them grow and develop and laugh and giggle, and everything is funny and everything is new and everything is an adventure, you know, and the developments from not being able to say trick or treat at the door to saying it constantly, and going through the process of Halloween isn't tonight. 2 weeks ago we were talking to them on the computer and telephone, and they were doing their evening work, and he wanted to go trick-or-treating, come to our house and go trick-or-treating. And so Chanel stopped and got the calendar out and walked him through the number of days it would take to get to Halloween. So that was 2 weeks ago. So today's the day. So they'll be over at 6. Taco Tuesday. Black bean tacos tonight for dinner. We try to do a meatless night at least once a week. Last night was tofu and broccoli. Very good. Some recipes are good. Some aren't so good. And so the good ones get recycled, and the bad ones just go in the trash. And I get most of my dairy and meat-free recipes from Nard Dog on YouTube. And so I strongly support him. I mean, and he's a character, and his videos are entertaining and informative, and the food is wonderful for the most part. Some of them we have kind of we weren't so hot on the walnut tacos. No, but that was early on, and you know, I've gotten better cooking his recipes. But I suggest go to his channel. You know, Andrew Bernard, otherwise known as the Nard Dog, and Make It Dairy Free, I think, is his website.